Yo, 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 what up, everybody, and welcome to Grizz 901, your number one and favorite Grizzlies post-game show, and it's not even close. The Grizzlies come off a win, 120-119 over the Houston Rockets. No Ja tonight, but no Sengun either, but overall, a great night and a great win. The Grizzlies really needed that one coming off of what happened, whatever that was in New York and Madison Square Garden. But Nate and I are going to get into all of tonight and exactly kind of what happened and look at a lot of the players and how they did, but also just kind of see what's next in the future, because the Grizzlies do take on the Milwaukee Bucks on Sunday. It's a Sunday game that the Grizzlies can win. Ryan's going to help us out as we look ahead to that. But I have a really good top 10 for the Grizzlies, and I want to see if we can kind of help out and kind of introduce a little bit of our Jaren Jackson Jr., who not won, but he's now an NBA All-Star. He was selected to the NBA All-Star reserves right before the TNT game started tonight. So it's all about Jaren Jackson Jr., but it's the top 10 because he's 11th in this category. But tonight, Nate and I are going to be breaking down all of the game in its entirety, get into that Grizz Trivia surrounded by a little bit of Jaren Jackson Jr., and then we're going to do a little bit of the look ahead and maybe talk about who are the snubs in the All-Star game that weren't selected. But that's all we have. Let's go ahead and get the show going. Yo, 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 Nate. What up, man?
Hell yes.
What exactly is that?
That's an Adam Sandler movie, but not that you would understand any references ever. But let me tell you, I had said halfway, like pretty much at the end of the third quarter, I was like, the team has played the way I wanted them to play.
Yeah.
Shorthanded, against a team with some athletes, really physical team. No matter what happens, I'm not going to be mad. Until we got to about 40 seconds left in the game. And I was like, if these motherfuckers don't win, I'm going to be so mad. Dude, that's what you live for, man. The emotions of that game, that's a big game. Both teams really wanted that. Jaren wanted it so bad.
Goon.
Wanted it so bad. He just didn't play much for a while, but he played awesome when he was playing. That's the kind of game you live to watch the games. That's why you're a fan. That's why the game is played. This game's like that. So, a lot of fun. I was going to be proud of the team no matter what. I thought they showed what they needed to show after that Knicks game tonight. But coming out of it with a win makes it feel 10 times better.
No doubt. I do not smell like college cheese. I heard at one time somebody referred to me as my smell of rich mahogany. So I appreciate that. No doubt. But
where were you at?
I will say, like, my earpiece does not feel right tonight. I don't know what's going on. It feels horrible. I'm hearing everything on this side, and I have nothing in here. So if you see me tugging at it, it's just there's something not going on. But I was thinking about what I was wanting to say tonight on the show, and I kept coming back to, like, I'm not upset. And this was like midway through the fourth quarter, and I was like, I had a basketball game with my daughter, and they lost 10-5. We took 27 shots, and they took literally 9, and we took 27. And the thing I said tonight afterwards, I go, I'm not upset. We played great, whatever. And the same sentiment to this game. Like, you played great. It looked like they wanted to win. It looked like they wanted to play well. And just sometimes, shots don't fall. You don't have your I guess understood best player most nights. And so in the end, the Grizzlies do win. But I wasn't upset about it, no matter win or loss. I was holding on to that nice +5 for the Rockets, little ticket in my own pocket. I told you I was going to bet against the Grizzlies. Maybe that's why they won, in spite of me. But overall, the Grizzlies, on the back of Desmond Bane, my God, he looks so good. He looked in control. And I don't know about you, but in control, he did only have 2 turnovers. I know I'm upset, but your thoughts on Des Bane, because I thought he looked really good. As Kip Gordon's saying right here, the Grizzlies win, the Tigers win. It didn't look like that was going to happen most of the night on both sides. So, but your thoughts on Desmond Bane overall?
Nice, Alan. I like that. I thought he played awesome, and like you said, he was in control. He had I think both his turnovers came early too. Like the majority of the game, he was playing super clean basketball. But he got to what he needed to get to. Like he was driving all night. He was getting to the rack, and he only had the one time where he kind of did what you'd say almost an ill-advised attempt, right? Towards the end of the game when he had, I think maybe DB and Amen Thompson on him. But super in control, which after the last game, I mean, granted, last game was such a cluster. It was hard to even know what was real and what wasn't. Yeah. But you're like, dude, you've got to take care of the ball, right? Are you ever going to be able to have the ball in your hands against a team like this?
Yeah.
And he did really well. And I will tell you, I think what helps Dez a lot is point guard Luke is a real thing. Like that, and taking that pressure off of Dez where he doesn't have to be the one with the ball in his hands. Like he can have the ball in his hands, but he can also dish it out, and Luke can do some things. I think that was really helpful as well. Yeah. But Dez played awesome tonight, man. Controlled the offense really, really well.
Yeah. Well, what I'll say is not everybody is a fan of Desmond Bane. No matter what happens, Darius Tolliver, we love you, buddy, but he's saying Desmond Bane has to be traded in all caps. So he's angry. But I don't. Desmond Bane looked like a true professional tonight. And that's what I kept coming back to is he looked like he just kind of stayed in control of himself. And that's not easy to do, especially on a night like this. When you're kind of, they know more than we do, so I don't want to give too much credit, but they know that Ja was probably going to be out. But the fact that Desmond Bane looked the way he did, late notice coming into the game, and being the point guard and the facilitator and doing so much, and in the end of the day, he wasn't a guy who got a lot of assists. He ended up with 2 at one point. 6. He ended up with 6, which was a lot late because he had 2 most of the night. 12 rebounds, 24 points, 0-2 from deep. What do you make of that? Because I know he had a foot on his line that one on one time, but overall, he wasn't shooting the 3 ball much at all.
I think that has to change in the long run for this team. He has to be getting shots up. He has to be getting shots up unless it's a night like tonight where the drive was there. The drive was there every time. It's why he didn't take a bunch of threes, right? And listen, one of them was in and out, right? He hit one that had his toe on the line, but the drives were there and he took advantage, right? I mean, he got to the rack all night long, shot 50% on the night, and none of them were threes, right? It was there. He took what you could get. For the long run, though, that's not a winning formula for this team. He's got to be getting 4 or 5 threes at least a night. And they haven't been doing that even with Ja playing, right? It's got to change a little bit. Yeah. But tonight, he did really well with what they were giving him.
Yeah. Before we transition real quick, I want to give a shout to Titan MVP. Bro, you have been an MVP 100%, coming in here and putting in your questions into the Super Chat form. 100% of the time, we will always make these a priority, but I'm gonna do something different I normally don't do. We're not gonna get to this. And Nate asked me before the show if we could talk to this before and kind of talk about Ja as a transition into the rest of the night, such as Grizz Trivia and the look ahead. And I agree completely. I don't want to bring up Ja in any of this. I understand this question. We will come back to it. It'll probably be just in 30 minutes. And so I don't want to disregard your question. And anybody else who has a super chat at all, by all means, if you have something, if it's $1, $2, whatever it is, I promise you it goes to Bluff City Media. It goes to the guys.
Show don't go to me.
Yeah, it doesn't go to that. But it does go to, honestly, a lot of the hard work that goes in behind the scenes. But I do appreciate it, and thank you. We will get to it. I just don't want to get to it right now. I don't want to completely derail everything. But cheers to you. Drinking a little Elijah Craig tonight. Are you on anything tonight, by the way?
We broke out the good stuff for a good win.
Booker's. I have 2 bottles of Booker's.
Nice. Broke out the good stuff for tonight. It was a good win. Wanted something with a little bit of bite to it, just like that win had a little bite to it. So got the good stuff out tonight. Haven't seen King Meeks in here. It's a shame. There he is.
King Meeks. Yeah, I was about to say King Meeks was over at the Memphis Tigers Live with Roman Cleary, Francis Carlotta, but also Kenny Stubblefield. After a Tigers win or loss, go check out their post-game Tigers Live. It's a lot of fun, but
it will soon.
It's not as good as ours. I love the guys. I'm just joking.
Don't give Tigers fans another thing to be mad about. I'm sure they're mad they only won by double digits tonight.
They do have a former Dookie on their staff, so I have to give a little love to Nolan Smith. But I want to ask you a question because I just saw somebody talking about it. Whatever that was on the timeout, what do you make of that?
I wonder. Part of me, this is conspiracy, Nate. Part of me was saying that what happened was Jenkins was doing this, going timeout, but so that he could get the timeout he wanted. But if something happened like what happened, he wouldn't be able to get thrown under the bus for it. So I'm like, okay, he was doing this. He's going timeout, Bill, timeout, but then he's like, but
Bill, just go with it, Bill, just go with it.
I'm acting like I'm yelling. I promise I'm not mad. But in all seriousness, I think he saw Taylor step up, and I think Taylor was going to call a timeout. But then the C's just parted. I don't know what the Rockets were doing. They were doing what the Grizzlies did against the Knicks the other night, and they just opened up. It was crazy. Right. And so I think he was going to call a timeout, but whistle. Then he didn't.
Right. I think the whistle blew, and that's what stopped everybody, and it made it look worse than it did. Just very similar to when somebody, everybody stops and then they pull up from a 3 that they normally wouldn't shoot from 40 feet out. Mm-hmm. But it looked like if he called the timeout or not, he probably said, timeout, go. And I've done that many a times. But sometimes you say it and you're like, fuck, I wish you wouldn't have given that to me. That's just part of it, right? But
I don't think he called it ever. And really? I think you're right. I think the whistle made it look way more open than it was. I think Wells was getting to the bucket no matter what. I think he was getting that layup no matter what, even if guys didn't stop. Now, Eamon Thompson is basically the Flash, so maybe not. But I do think it was I think he was getting there no matter what. And I don't think Jenkins even said an under the breath timeout. I really don't. Yeah. Watching that angle on inside because it was one of those where it was he didn't even come into this, right? And if you're calling timeout, you're coming into here. And he never made even the hand motion. So I don't think he was going to call it at all.
Yeah, and so on that, do you think then the Grizzlies get the friendly whistle as the call on Dylan Brooks for Jaren? That's probably hey, you're going to get the benefit of the doubt on this one. Go into Jaren, create a little bit of size advantage, and then you're going to get something. So it
was a foul. It wasn't it was
100%. It was a foul.
Yeah, it was 100% a foul, but it was never not going to get called at that point. Yeah. I don't know what happened. I think it was a huge snafu by the ref.
Yeah,
genuinely. Which officiating was
he heard
so all night. It wasn't terrible. I don't think it was a huge determiner in the game, but it was a little hit or miss. There was physicality, but then they wouldn't let there be physicality. But anyways.
Lauren has a question, and I'm going to answer it for you as well.
Amen. I keep saying amen.
You say
it's Amen Thompson.
Amen Thompson.
Yeah.
But the grandfather Grizz has a question. Why are our fans so negative? This S is annoying. I agree. You got any suggestions for grandfather Grizz for us?
I actually meant to bring in a patch of artificial grass so that we as a family could touch it tonight. But I don't have it. I don't know what I did with it. Must be outside. I'm dead ass serious. We talked about this with the guys when they deactivated their Twitters. Man, it's just not the real world. It's just not. Like, if you unplug from X and you go out and you just like live your life, it just is not what you see. Now, what you're going to see is just like echo chamber, people just playing off of each other, getting each other riled up. It's a big thing. And I think, but I will say there is legitimate frustration and anxiety that comes from wondering if you missed your window. Like you just because you're sitting there and you're watching OKC and you're watching Houston and you watch this team and you're like we're supposed to be the ones that are at the forefront. We're supposed to be the ones that are like at what everybody is talking about. And you're not what everyone's talking about right now.
Yeah.
Right. It is the Rockets. It is the Thunder. But I would say like you haven't missed anything. Like the window's not closed. It's not like it's open. You are just a couple of moves away from being able to be on par with that. Right. So I think the frustration is real. There's real worries and concerns around this team. But I'm telling you, if you just unplug and don't let yourself be dialed into it all the time, it's all right.
Well, what I'll say to Grandfather Grizz, bro, mute. I promise you. So I use a lot of my personal Twitter for betting on the most part. And I do retweet a lot of Grizz stuff just overall that I enjoy. Mainly it is from Bluff City Media, but I mute everybody and I see very little negativity. And some of it's just questioning. Like you're just like asking as a true fan, like, what is going on? Why do these guys suck? Why do they not look like they care? Why does Ja in a ski mask and a yellow onesie sitting on the bench not moving? Like nobody knows. Like those are real questions, and I think that's legit. But what I would just suggest if you need to get out of the Grizzleverse, if you're too far in the Grizzleverse, one, we have something for you on Monday night. Two, mute is what I'll suggest. But and it might be time to get off Twitter, as Rage Tempo says. It might just be time to move away. But I would suggest mute if you enjoy your Twitter time.
Yeah, but there are real concerns around this team. I think we are in agreement as currently constructed. It would be surprising if they were able to contend, right? Like I don't think we think they're there. They're a piece or two away. But there's a difference between that and some of the negativity that we all see out there, right? So concern is real though, and we'll talk about some of it tonight, I'm sure.
Yep, no doubt. One Titan MVP comes back again. Thank you, fan of us, support us, enjoy the content. But Nate the Great, I got nothing. Nate, I got nothing. But he does have a question. Does this wipe away the Knicks loss for you?
Yeah. Yeah. Live in the highs and the lows, dude. It's the player's job to stay on the train. We're here in the peaks and the valleys. Listen, man. Yes. If you told me you had to take that Knicks loss to turn around and beat the Rockets tonight, just because, I think it was on Vernon earlier today. I was listening to it and they were talking about like, this is a team you are likely to see in the playoffs, right? If you get out of that first round, right? That matters. Now, that wins. I think that win's important. So yeah, I do. What's the point of the Knicks loss? What's the point of the Knicks loss if you're looking at it as a Grizz fan? It's to say, hey, wake up. Don't let that happen. That's not who you are. Figure it out. And most of this game, they were losing. They were losing most of this game, and the Rockets were in control. It wasn't like they were losing, and it was like a back and forth, neck and neck. The Rockets would extend, Grizzlies would narrow, Rockets would extend, Grizzlies would narrow. But the Rockets would get up to almost double digits every quarter at some point. So for you to say, no, this isn't who we are. We're not going to lie down. We're going to fight back, and we're going to execute. We're going to bring it to you. That's the whole point of that Knicks loss. That's what you want to get out of it. So, yeah, I think you learn what you need to learn from the Knicks loss. Yeah. Could it happen again? Sure. Like, it's not set in stone. It's great, but that's what you want. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't say it erases it. Titan MVP. I think that it puts it in perspective of it is a one loss. There's a lot of questions surrounding this team. No matter what you are, and if you're half game back of the Rockets in the regular season, I know we've said it many times. I am much more of the level-headed guy. I show my emotions some, and it comes out in different ways. Nate is more the up and down more, which I enjoy because it doesn't make us too boring and like me. But it's a season. But I look at it in one perspective, like I want to see what this team is made of. I want to see if they're ready for the playoffs. And so I don't see it yet. And tonight proved me like thinking how I think about them in the future. This night helps. And so I don't say that the next loss doesn't take anything away, because I will always think of that. But I also think of games like this where they had a chance to get beat. You're without Ja, and the other side they're without Sengun with a calf strain. But my God, they could have just completely folded, and they never folded. And so shout out to the guys, just overall, just through and through, to the staff, to the guys not folding. But Titan MVP's coming back. My level-headedness somehow is keeping me in this. Not you though, Nick.
And listen, also, like, the Rockets made a bunch of shots in that first half. And I don't know if anyone watches the Rockets outside of when they played the Grizzlies. I promise you, they have a magnet on the rim when they are playing against the Grizzlies. It's like they have shot really well compared to when I watched them outside of against Memphis. And if Amen Thompson, not Amen, I almost said it again. If Amen Thompson is making every step back midi he puts up, that's going to be a tough guard, right? So I thought they did a lot really well tonight. I will say, just like the one kind of like thing where I'm like, and I felt like all night. Part of the reason I wasn't going to be mad,
it's a hemorrhoid.
I mean, we don't talk about it, but one of the biggest difference I thought I saw, and I want to get your thoughts on this, between the Grizzlies and the Rockets, is that the Grizzlies have to play guys who you wouldn't be shocked if they suck. Like, I don't think they played anyone who always sucks, including Jake. I know people are mad about some Jake minutes tonight. I thought Jake was solid in his minutes. And listen, I know we all want to see Gigi. Gigi looked like a fish out of water when he was in there tonight. It's why Jake got those minutes. And he only played one more minute than Gigi anyways.
No doubt.
But would you be shocked if Jake sucked? Would you be shocked if Scotty sucked? Would you be shocked if Edie or Santi sucked? Right? Like, you wouldn't. Whereas the Rockets, there's nobody put out there that I don't expect to do their job.
Right. Well, if you look at this, and shout out to Wayno, dude, truther through and through, sending me a penny donation. Listen, I'll take pity. I'm not scared. But I feel like I've been on video all day. I did like 4 shows today. And so this is like first thing in the morning at 7. And then now it's 11:30 at night. So I feel like I've been on video somehow all day. But Gigi, 9 minutes overall, he went 0-5 from deep, and he had a foul. Literally, that was it. And Marco saying, a bunch of 78 overalls on our 100%. The thing is like, that's okay. Like, I'm okay with the 78s. Like, somebody's gonna play like a 84 one night, and that's it. And it wasn't Gigi's night. It wasn't.
But here's the thing: is 78 overalls can also play like a 58 overall.
But that's when you go away from Gigi, right? You give him 9 minutes, and then Jake LaRavia. People talked about that. He played 10 minutes. He had 5 points and 2 rebounds in 10 minutes. I'm fine with that. Like, you're gonna have that, especially even in the playoffs. You're gonna have guys that played 10 minutes. Scottie Pippen, he had 4 points. I didn't know this. 4 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 fouls. 12 minutes.
He's doing it all, man.
He comes out. He's like, all right.
He's doing it all.
We're doing everything tonight. I want to see if he had any turnovers. And he had a turnover. So,
but do you know what I mean? Like, the Rockets have a rotation that you put any of them in the playoffs, and you're like, cool. They're going to go in. They're going to do their job. Maybe they don't do everything. Maybe they don't hit a big shot for you, but they're going to do their job. I feel like there's a lot of guys for the Grizz that they're just not, and it's not because they're bad. It's most it's because they're young. They're just not ready, right? And they go in like Gigi. We think it's going to be a freak of nature at some point. Right. Just not ready. Gigi's also come back from injuries. There's a lot of reasons for that.
But does it go to show the fan base just overall, just going back to the Gigi thing? Let's just kind of slow down on stuff we don't know. Like Gigi looked so good last year. He looked really good at South Carolina when he was playing on a bad team, right? Good player, bad team. He's never been in college and now the pros, he's never been a good player on a good team. I'm not saying Gigi is a bad player. I'm saying maybe it takes him some time to get familiar with winning basketball. There's a difference. I play with many people who look good and are good, and they get a lot of points. But my God, we lose every game. And so I think it's going to take time for him to figure it out. And he's coming back from injuries. So
that's more of it, I think. You had time to play with these guys.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think it's going to take time. But as he develops, everybody was quick to say, hey, put him in the starting lineup. I don't know. Franklin's trying to start stuff. I did not say he's a bad player. I do love that though. But overall, just a mid night. Let's go to two more guys on the bench. And that's going to be Brandon Clark, 31 minutes, 13 points, 5 rebounds. He did have 4 fouls as well. So he played double the minutes and had the same amount of fouls. Scotty. Aldama, 26 minutes. I thought he played well tonight. He didn't look like he was it didn't look like he was a fish out of water, which he normally has looked like this year against Houston, but he had 15 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist.
It's hilarious because I'm always the one gassing up Santi, and I thought he was abysmal tonight.
You thought he was bad?
He put the ball in the bucket, but rebounding, defense, I thought he was rough out of everything other than scoring tonight. I did not like what I saw from Santi at all, dude.
See, I thought he was fine. What do you think his plus minus is? Not before I look.
I got no idea, man.
26 minutes.
+4.
No, I bet it was a minus. I bet it was a -7.
-7.
-6. -6.
He just got bullied. That's it. He just got bullied and he got sped up. No, but that's what you can't have. That's what this team lacks, is like Metallic saying, physicality. And Santi put the ball in the bucket, but every other aspect of the game, I thought he got bullied.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, he got his own miss, and then he decided to jack it back up with a split second, which I'm all about. If you miss the ball, it makes its way, or you miss the shot, makes his way back to you. And Santi's a good shooter, so I'm not mad at him taking the shot. But it's like he got it and he just threw it up. And I'm like, dude, you've got to make better decisions. The ego ball can't be there. And listen, I've been gassing up Santi all season. I'm a believer in Aldama. I really am, but I did not like what I saw out of him tonight. This is the first time I agreed with some of the haters. I don't think he was just getting cardio. I saw his box score. He was not Tony Snell game tonight, but I did think he got bullied quite a bit, and I didn't think he was doing much about it. Oh. Which I'm usually the one that thinks he's here, he's built for it, he's ready for it. I didn't think it was tonight.
It's funny that Goon is over here like backing Santi, but not Jaren.
I am a Santi believer. I really am. But tonight was
you and Austin, not a Santi guy.
I guess that's how this works.
Should we get? I know you're not familiar with wrestling, so if there's any wrestling nerds, the Royal Rumble is coming up this weekend. But it's like I'm a Paul Heyman guy. Just like I'm not a Santi guy. Should we get shirts? What does that mean?
No, I am a Santi guy.
Well,
the internet's not a real place.
Well, maybe Art says maybe Goon
trying to get that starting spot.
Man. Anyway, look, Lauren's a former high school wrestling manager.
There's a lot more than me. Yeah, what the heck? Hey, it's Tony Ransom, Sports Talk Tennessee. What are you talking? You must have gotten here for 1 second.
Yeah,
we're so excited about this win. Go on, you're the hater. Hater.
We don't know Tony Ransom.
Snow plurals. I can only have the R extended. Tony.
Tony. But going through this, I do think just looking through a lot of these numbers, the fact is, Edey only played 17 minutes, which is low compared to what I felt like he was out there. He, 5 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 4 fouls. He was going against Steven Adams a lot, which Steven Adams, it's hard to keep him off the boards. He ended up with 10 boards overall, double, 11 and 10. So Steven Adams, I miss him so much. Like I like Steven Adams just for what he can bring you to the team just overall. But he only playing 17 minutes was a little shocking when I first saw the box score, because I try not to look at it. And I'm going to challenge y'all. And I heard this the other day. And I don't know who it was. It might have been somebody on 929 on local radio here. But it was like, hey, like I don't watch the game while watching the box score. And I was like, all right. And so I literally, like, the last couple of games I've been looking at, and I look at the box score when we have to do a show just to make sure I'm understanding of what happened. But I just challenge you, watch the game without ever looking at the box score ever, and then make your opinions and then go look at the box score. Like literally, that's all I'm doing right now is I'm looking at the box score as I'm doing it with you all. And it's shocking to me that Edey only plays 17 minutes. The reason I say that is because some people watch the box score and they're just like, oh my God, you're not playing him in this rotation. Like, dude, I promise you, I am not getting paid to do that. I don't want to have the stress level that Taylor Jenkins has. His hair is going, it was here and now it's in the middle of his head. Like it's leaving him quickly. It's not like he's been here for a bit, but my God, that thing is running.
Not that long.
But yeah, I challenge you, watch the game without actually looking at the box score. I promise you. But yeah, as Timo's saying, just go bald, bro. Like just shade that thing. That's a summer thing. You don't do it during the midseason because then people talk about it. You come back, people say it during the whatever, the intros, and then you're just like gone. Best player for the Grizzlies tonight, Jaren. Jalen Wells played okay, but I'd say it's Jaren, Luke Kennard, or Desmond Bane.
Got to be Des. I think it's tight between him and Luke, but I'm going with Des.
Yeah, I think I'm Des too. Let me know in the chat what your thoughts are. We haven't done it lately. Brian Conley saying Desmond Bane, but Bane had 24, 12, and 6, which is a huge stat line. 22, 1, and 2 for Luke. And those don't sound sexy, but Luke made so many good plays. Dude. Avatar Luke. You and your Avatar stuff. And then Jaren Jackson Jr., 21, 4, and 4. He was a little bit in foul trouble, but I really like the way Luke played tonight. I know that Bane was by far the best player, but if you had a guy who you thought was the best player, let us know, because I'd love to see kind of what everybody else thinks as well, because I do think it is Des, because the way he controls the game, you can't win that game without Desmond Bane. I know he didn't make the big plays because Jaren made the big play down the stretch. Luke was phenomenal there in the third and the fourth. But the fact that, and this is perfect from Chuck, who's usually a joker on this thing, but the calmness, confidence, Bane is setting everything up. It's just, it's trustworthy, right? And so I love Bane tonight. So anything else about Bane that you saw that was like, hey, that's where I felt like the control of the game and everything was going right when he had the ball?
Well, he also attacks. He attacks. You talk about a team that we think needs more aggressiveness all around. I think a lot of times that's conceived as physicality, hard-nosed defense. But Des attacks the game. That's why he got 12 boards tonight. 12 boards for Desmond Bane as a guard, especially against that team who is really like working you on the boards. I thought the Rockets were getting the ball. They wanted the ball more most of the night, but now more than Desmond Bane.
Yeah.
And he's attacking the game and then settling in, right? There's times where if he's dribbling off his foot and if he's throwing it to the other team, like it's a different ballpark. And we haven't, to be honest, consistently seen that against teams of this caliber, right? But the way he was playing tonight is like, boom, he's solid. He's going to make the right decision. Like we said, he only took 2 threes tonight because he could get to the bucket and either get to the rack or facilitate for a teammate and dish it out all night. And he did a really good job of that. So
I just saw Lauren say, where was Conchar? I don't even know where that came from. It made me laugh.
Let's also this has gone really under the radar, but there's two other guys that I think really need shout outs in this game. One is going to be Brandon Clark, who continues to just do all the little stuff. He had the bad foul on Jalen Green at the end of the game, but his defense and his defensive awareness is light years ahead of where it has been the rest of his career. I mean, dude has put in the work, and it shows, and he's making all kinds of good moves. His rotations, he is reading. Like, he's not just jumping and being an athlete now. He's reading what the player is going to do. He's playing chess on the court defensively, which is leading to all kinds of knockaways. It's leading to loose balls. He's getting after the loose balls because he sees it coming. I've always knocked BC for being unaware, especially on the defensive end, I thought. And he has been one of the best, most solid and smart defensive players the Grizzlies have had this year. It's been awesome. It's been awesome. Yeah. And on that note, Jalen Wells not being the leader in the Rookie of the Year ladders is such a politics. Screw the bureaucrats. Screw the hierarchy and all the freaking NBA highlight culture. Because Jalen Wells has been so much better than Stephon Castle to start this year.
By far.
And guess what? His team's not cheeks. Like,
get it out.
Dude, and he's guarding the best player every night and still averaging the same offensive numbers within like decimals of Castle. Dude, if he doesn't win Rookie of the Year, like, unless it's like something like Ware, who's making a crazy run right now, it's ridiculous. He's been awesome, dude.
Yeah. Wells has, I believe he's second in a lot of categories and first in some, but he's majority second in majority of the categories that there are for rookies. And the fact that he's not leading, just to explain something to everybody, it's not fun when somebody runs away with everything. Okay. It's not. And as LOL, nope, Jones says, Rookie of the Year, 100%. And I believe that he will be the Rookie of the Year at eventually. What they want to do as the NBA and the NBA communications and the marketing, they don't want to put that Jalen Wells is the Rookie of the Year. He's not a sexy guy, right? He's not a guy who's going to be going up for a lot of rebounds and big dunks and anything crazy that might look good, right? He's just a good hard-nosed player. So you put Stephon Castle up there for a little bit. Okay. And then they had Sar up there. I don't know if anybody realized that. Sar was the first for a while, Castle, and then Wells. And then now they've moved Sar down and they moved Castle up. What you're seeing is they're just rotating people in and out. They're trying to show everybody as being the top. And they want to get everybody some love that way. One, it does move the numbers, but also it does give somebody to kind of be mad at or be happy with it. Isn't usually happy. So all it is just a marketing ploy. So I wouldn't be too concerned, but my God, Jalen Wells has been amazing. He's been incredible. And so I expect him to continue to be good. Do you think that Jalen Wells is a guy that's solidified himself? I don't want to say no matter what, but unless they get somebody that's a proven vet or honestly, Cam Johnson or a proven vet type guy, he's in the starting rotation for the rest of the season.
If they don't get somebody, I think you probably do Smart off the bench thing. If Smart comes back, I don't know. I'm convinced Smart doesn't play basketball for Memphis anymore. But if he does, then I think you just roll with it. He's done too well. He's been way too solid for you. And he is runaway. He should be the runaway Rookie of the Year favorite. But welcome to Adam Silver's NBA with your 10-minute quarters. He do everything but actually make the game better.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, honestly. And he's a smart guy. Unfortunately,
welcome to Adam Silver's NBA, man.
He did go to Duke, but
he's begging players to care, and they don't. So
he's an idiot. I don't understand the 10-minute course. We're not going to get to that tonight.
We need more time for that.
Plenty of time for that. But I do want to get into a little bit of the All-Star reserves. I don't want to get into all of that just now, but I want to give the kudos to our guy, Jaren Jackson Jr., who was voted as an All-Star reserve. And I do want to put up, this list, just kind of show y'all, and everybody, where he actually stands amongst everybody else. But this is the player pool. If you can see it right here. In the West, Curry, Durant, SGA, LeBron, and Jokic were all voted starters. But tonight there was an announcement that AD, Ant, James Harden, who you called, pretty good, Jaren, Alperen Sengun, Vic Wemby, and then Jalen Williams. So you knew that Jalen Williams, but it should be Jalen Green. But Jalen Williams got in for the coach of his team. He had to bring in two guys. But in the East, it's Giannis, Brunson, Mitchell, Tatum, and Cat. Then they brought in Brown, Cunningham, Garland, Hero, who I think we had Hero, right? Maybe not.
I don't think we did.
I think I had Hero, but you talked me out of it. Dame, we did not have Dame. And then Evan Mobley. That means the Cavs got 3 in, Garland, Mobley, and then Siakam, who we were both, back and forth against. And eventually, he did get put in.
I hate it. I was very surprised by the East. I think we got the West right, except for Sabonis. We probably put Sabonis in instead of Jalen Williams. I think it's probably the one we missed.
Sabonis should be, by far.
Sabonis should be. Yeah, he got snubbed for sure. But Jalen Williams took that spot. I think the rest of them we actually had, right?
Probably.
We definitely had AD, Wemby, Jaren, Sengun.
Bro, I took notes
and Harden
so many days ago.
I know. It's like we had a list. But anyways, we don't have to get into it. But the East, I was like.
Got my Grizz list.
You were right about Siakam, which is just so upsetting.
Siakam sucks. Sorry. All right, so we had Garland. We did Mobley over Garland. LaMelo, Brown, and LaMelo didn't get in. Jaylen Brown, Trae Young. Trae Young didn't get in. Pascal Siakam, you had, and then you love Zach LaVine.
Yeah, I'd much rather watch him than Siakam.
Yeah.
I thought entertainment value would matter some to the NBA, but I was clearly incorrect.
You were incorrect. Anyway, let's get into one more thing before we get into the end of the show. I know we're talking a lot about the Grizzlies, the game just overall. We want to get into Ja Morant, but real quick, thank you all for watching us. If you're watching over on Twitter, join us over on YouTube. I promise you the chat. We have the best chat in all of Grizzlies media, in my opinion. I know a lot of people are in Chris Vernon's show at noon. I love Verno. He's amazing. The chat is popping pretty good there, so we might be really close. But I love our chat. I love that we have a lot of the OGs here. So shout out to you all. We have a lot of the new people that come here. But we also have people that watch just strictly on Twitter as well. But thank you all for hanging out with us. Our terrible chat. But thank you all for hanging out with us. Great number tonight. But if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and do us a favor. Hit the like button. If 7 of you, just 7, hit the like button at one time, it somehow jumps into a better algorithm and it makes it look better. So anyway, thank you for doing that. And thank you for hanging out with us after every just kind of midweek game. But we are here back on Monday night, and we have something that we're going to do. And I'm going to show that at the very end of the show. So if you're still here at the very end, I'm going to show you a sneak peek of what we have for Monday as we end the show. But let's go ahead and get into the Ja Morant stuff. And let's go ahead and lead that off with our guy, Titan MVP. He is worried about his favorite player, Ja. Great win. Love the fire from the coach, and Ja being out with no rhythm with the team. But overall, your thoughts on Ja Morant tonight?
I didn't like it.
Yikes.
I didn't like it. I think he's hurt. Like, to be clear, I've seen, just to be really clear, all the he's trying to dodge national TV games, all that. I actually looked it up tonight. He has not missed as many national TV games as you would think. The 2 ESPN TNT games that he missed before tonight were when he was out with a shoulder injury. Okay. Other than that, he's actually played in the TNT games. He's played most of the NBA TV games. So I know it's a narrative out there. And I mean, I don't know. I guess technically it could be, but I don't think that's what it is. I think he's hurt. I don't like him sitting on the second row with his hood up, not moving the whole game.
That was weird. I posted that stupid thing is like poking with a stick, do something.
Yeah, I thought that was dumb.
That was really good.
But I don't know, man. Like, and you could say it's because of the injury, but I mean, he was going to play basketball as of like a.m. today. He was going to play in a game tonight. I don't really buy that his shoulder hurts too bad to be up there jumping up and down with the team and getting excited, right? I think there's more going on. I don't think it's the Jaren, like he's jealous of Jaren thing I've seen that seems to have traction for some reason. Don't think that's the case.
No.
Wouldn't you still be engaged if you were hurt? Correct. I don't know, man. I don't know. But
that's the part that's weird to me is like if I'm hurt, you have to figure out, okay, how can I motivate and help this team? It looked like nothing like that. It looked like he was completely out. And let's take a step back real quick. If this is a real injury and the dude just found out after going through an MRI or whatever that he's out for the season, 100%, we will stand on it and say,
yeah,
that is the reason. And by all means, any negativity that went toward him, 100% take him back. The dude is a human dealing with some things. If it's not that, and it's not something major that is, and everybody's potentially questioning, like, is it a mental thing where and I'm not saying anything negative to the point of like, oh my God, he can't handle it. He's a human. Again, like, can he not handle what happened the other night? And then it is a little bit of a setback in the injury, and things are just like effing him up in his head. Like that thing that happens. And when you're going through it, you can't see through the forest, right? You can't. All you see is the tree right in front of you. And so maybe he's going through some things. But if none of that, overall, you have to help your brothers. If you're on a team, just like we are, right? Anything that happens to you, I'm going to help. I'm going to do what I need to do. If I'm out, whatever reason, I don't have a voice, I'm going to do what I can on the back end to try to help the show, just in general. That's not a complete one-on-one comparison, but it's the same stuff. Like, you help your guys because you help them get through it and you try to motivate them, and you want this product, you want this team to be the best it can be. So I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't want to jump to any conclusions or make assumptions because it could be, like you said, a bad injury thing. It doesn't sound like it. Like, I don't think it's like, hey, he has a season-ending injury or something like that. I don't think it's anything crazy. I think he's down. I think it's a lot of it piling up, which again can be really understandable, right? And listen, I've been pretty open and honest on this show. I've been through some pretty bad mental stuff in the past, and so I can really identify with it. But he does need to get his head right.
Yeah,
he does need to get his head right. And listen, even if it's an injury thing, man, you got to get your head right. And he's got to be able to block the stuff around him out, right? If it's an injury, that's one thing, right? It's like, man, I'm out again. And for anyone who's played sports on a really competitive level, if you're a high level competitor,
yeah,
if that was something that happened, dude, like, you can't even imagine what that would be like, right? Like, man, like, I'm out again. When am I going to catch a break? And coming back from these injuries is like, it's not like you just get better, by the way. Like, it's a lot of work to come back from them. So if that's the case, that's like a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
If it's like, man, I have this stuff just keeps getting to me. I got to deactivate my social media because the social media is getting to me. Brother, you just got to stay off of it. You just got to stay away from it, man.
Well, and that's kind of where I'm at. Like, and as Sherman, Jones is saying here is, kind of reaching, and maybe, not gonna lie, and maybe it is, and that's why I kind of gave it a little bit of a preface, like, we might actually be reaching, and it could be the fact that, like, his shoulder literally was separated last year, and it is the same shoulder, and so maybe I don't know. And by all means, I will always pedal back and apologize, afterwards. But I just don't. I don't know what's going on with him because the reason I say that is because Taylor Jenkins is on record saying he's been fine and we've not had to do anything with him and making sure that he's not had any issues or no setbacks. Like nothing has been up. And then he kind of got hit the other night. But like after a big game and he got hit the other night, which is at practice, I get that. But like, I don't know. It just seems weird for the guy that even if you are hurt and you're out, I know you might be going through some things, but like you still cheer on your team. It looked like he was just like not there. It looked like it was like blank.
Oh, just not trying to jump to any conclusions. I'm just telling you, as someone who has been through some pretty dark stuff, it does you no favors to be plugged in to people who are not real, who have pictures of you as their like avatar and profile picture while they shit on you.
Like people are whack,
it's just not a real. It's not real, man. They ain't real, right? Like, I do think he's in his head. I think he gets in his head quite a bit. A lot of it is going to be very justified frustration, between injuries, missing out on All NBA, lots of stuff like that. I do think it's part of it is you let people who aren't real, who don't matter, get to you. Yeah. Like, man, you got your brothers on the court in the locker room. You got your daughter. You got your family at home. That's it. That's what's real.
No doubt.
Don't let whatever my mom's fart 69 with the jaw Abby get you down. Which you can. You can. We see crazy comments on here sometimes. I'm like, damn, that kind of hurt my feelings. Right? But it's like, it's not real. Right, it's just not real, and so whatever he's got going on, man, I hope he's able to get his head right because clearly it's it's in his head a little bit. So whether it's injury stuff, social media stuff, just frustration, hope he can get his head right or kind of get grounded back to what matters.
No doubt. And as LOL, nope. Jones says when he gets back, he's gonna be locked in for that final stretch, and so I hope that's where we're at for sure, but. I do have something before we get to King Miggs Trivia, aka Grizz Trivia. We're gonna do Grizz Trivia. Listen, we're almost at an hour already, but we're gonna do Grizz Trivia, which is a really good one. So make sure you stay tuned. We're going to do a look ahead as we look ahead to the next game, which is against the Sunday against the Bucks. I want to show y'all something. I need y'all's help because we're gonna do this on Monday. But this is what we're calling the Grizzle verse. It's the dark side of trivia, not trivia, the dark side of Twitter. And so of X, yeah. So any bad stuff, put in a hashtag Grizzleverse, or you can tag at Grizz901 Live, or you can tag at MemGrizzHomer, at Daniel Greer, whatever you want. Tag us. I want to find it. We're going to put a little thing together of the craziest and weird stuff that's happening on the dark side of Grizz Trivia. Some of the craziest stuff you've seen, but I made this. I want to show it off a little bit because I think it'd be fun. But this is kind of a play on Star Wars. But this is the Grizzleverse. I hope everybody enjoys a little bit of Star Wars. Why are you muted?
For anyone who wasn't here last time, Daniel wasn't kidding when he says he does all this stuff. Like, I'm pretty useless other than the entertainment value. I'd had no part in any of this, so this is pretty new to me. So I don't know. I'm just sitting here thinking I really hope we don't get sued. That's the main thing. I'm we're getting sued for trademark or
copyright. We're good. I actually ran it by.
We'll take our $5.
Yeah, I ran it by my producer on another show, and he's like, "Dude, you're golden. That's nothing. Nothing checks out copyright, so I'm good." Okay. Anyway, so join us Monday.
That's awesome.
We're gonna have a pretty good little Grizzleverse as we look ahead. I've already been out there tagging some different things to kind of look at, and so we'll have a good laugh. We'll also give a ranking on how crazy these tweets and videos and everything it might be. So if you see a podcast, by all means, put a little hashtag Grizzleverse. We'll find it somehow, some way. But this is the Grizz Trivia. Tonight we have a little look at Jaren Jackson Jr., who does rank 11th in games played in the franchise history. So, Nate, I got a question for you and all of the I don't know, people in the chat. I don't know what you call you. I almost called you the crew. That's not right. The chat.
The chat.
Who are the top 10 Grizzlies players that have played the most games in franchise history?
All right, hold on. I got to get out of the comments. I don't want to see any of those. Mike, Mark, Zebo.
Oh shit! Let me write these down. Mike, Mark, Zebo is 100% right.
Yep. Tony.
Tony's in there.
Powell's
in there.
Dylan
is not.
That was a bit of a stretch, but I thought he might land in there. Who else? Lorenzen?
No.
Stro?
Stro also, yes.
What? How many have I got? 4 or 5?
So you got Mike, Mark. Who else? You said Stro?
Mike, Mark, Zach, T.A., Stro. Jaren would be 6, right? So I got 4 left.
Jaren's 11th.
Oh, Jaren's 11th. I'm sorry. Okay, so I got 5 left.
Yep.
Mike Miller.
Miller's in there. Yep.
6.
Hold on. I think I have something for you.
Oh my god. Okay. It's not as good as a 3 blind mice sound effect, but I'll take it.
Santi. Somebody said Santi.
No, Santi.
Ooh, a lot of phenomenal answers, by the way.
Santi was riding pine for too long.
I'm looking through these and I see phenomenal answers. They've gotten all 10 for sure.
Oh, really?
100%.
Nice.
They've gotten all 10.
Very nice. Mario Chomp. I'm just kidding.
You know what? I didn't see one guy, but anyway, keep going. Keep going, chat.
Big Country.
Oh, that was it. Hold on.
Okay.
It's supposed to sound like the
Mario thing.
Yep.
Yep. That's 7. Who else was
Chandler Parsons?
He was here.
Marcus Smart, Benno, Tyreek Evans. These are
amazing.
These are amazing. Art said
almost said Haddadi. Tabeek.
It's not Ahmed
Tabeek.
It's not Hashim Tabeek now.
Oh, really? I thought Tabeek would have been up there.
No. You know, I actually rode in a Suburban with his crew to a game once. He used to rent cars for me at the local Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Oh, cool.
Not. They smoked them things out.
Oh, man. I'm going to struggle with these last 3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you have Mike, Mark, Zach. So
there's no way Badier's in there, right?
I don't know. You think?
I'll say it Badier, but I don't think he is.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's surprising. Okay. Okay. Badier. White chocolate.
Nope.
No, I just wanted him to be in there. Love Jason Williams. Brevin.
I think have you gotten everybody? Mike, Mark.
I got the core four.
Okay.
Stro.
Big
Country.
Okay.
Battier.
Right.
I got one more. Mike Miller.
Yeah, Mike Miller.
So that's 8.
I think you Mike, Mark, Zach, Tony.
I've only got an 8.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, so there should be 2 more.
Who are you missing?
Unless I guessed them. And you lied to me.
Who? Oh, yeah, that's it. Okay. So you got two guys you're missing then.
All right, give me like eras.
They're all very much early in the franchise.
Early, like Vancouver early?
No. All Memphis. All Memphis.
I already said. Oh, Lorenzen.
Nope, you already said Lorenzen.
Right, but I don't think we discounted him, did we?
He's not in.
Oh, he's not in. Okay.
No. So these 2 guys are one. He had a brother on the team. The other guy. Oh,
I said Powell.
That's what I thought. I thought you said
Powell. You're right. I forgot I said Powell.
And then the other guy, there was a movie made about his name.
Oh. Just say it. It's going to be embarrassing while I try and fumble for
it. Rudy Gay.
Thank you.
All right. So if you look at these right here, so he has 379 games played so far. Jaren does, which it goes to show that one, he will be 10th all time and will have every single one of these guys. The only guy that did not play their entire their entire time here in Memphis would be Stromile Swift, which is at 441 games. But Shane Battier was here for the Memphis Grizzlies at 419. But Jaren has at 379. He'll play over the 395 for Bryant Reeves. Yeah, but Reeves, Big Country, Battier, Swift, Miller, Tony Allen, Gasol, Gay, Randolph, Gasol, and Conley. The fact that like Jaren, I just want people to understand and appreciate Jaren Jackson Jr. for what one he's brought to the franchise. Now he's a second-time All-Star. The numbers and the names on this list, everybody has been a fan of at some point. Maybe not Bryant Reeves, but that was Big Country, right? When he came over here, 01-02. Big Country was one of the best players on the team at the time. But you've been a fan of most of these guys. I have a lot of paraphernalia from a lot of teams that these guys were on, but also the players themselves. So, anything just nostalgia hit you on that one?
Well, I was going to say, Rudy, I don't know why. I just would have never guessed Rudy. I never would have guessed Rudy. I don't know why, but I wouldn't have.
Okay.
It's like, because it makes sense, but it's kind of like, I don't know. I just don't compute it in my head.
Right.
But I was going to say, I think far and away the most underrated guys on this list are Stro and Battier.
By far.
Like, both those guys.
Stromile Swift was awesome. I love Stro awesome. Show. Goon the Shooter says Hakeem Warwick. So Hakeem Warwick is actually like 13th or 14th on here. I believe that. Yeah, I just pulled it up. So Hakeem Warwick is 15th. 307. OJ Mayo 301. Lorenzen Wright, you talked about 336. Dylan Brooks 345. So he was 13th overall, right behind Sharif Abdul-Rahim at 375. So no doubt. That was
good
fun.
Trivia.
Yep. Hey, I'll take that. Anyway, so hopefully we move away from our guy, Big Country, Bryant Reeves, very soon, as we have our guy Jaren taking the 10th all time. So anyway, enough about a little Grizz trivia. So everybody had fun. That was the King Meeks Grizz trivia of it all. And so shout out to you, King Meeks. But let's go ahead and take a little bit of a look ahead as we look ahead next to the Milwaukee Bucks on Sunday.
Let's look ahead to Sunday's away game for our Memphis Grizzlies against the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks are 26-19. But look, let's call a spade a spade. The Milwaukee Bucks are pretending to be a good team that are actually a very mediocre one. They are dead last in the NBA in offensive rebound percentage. The few things that they do well, they limit their turnovers. They play a very deliberate, safe style with Giannis and Dame. You're not going to get anything fancy or out of the ordinary. But the Grizzlies have owned this series. The Grizzlies have won 6 straight games against the Milwaukee Bucks dating back to 2021-2022 season. Average margin of victory for the Grizzlies in those 6 games, 20.8 points. So this is pretty simple to me. If the Grizzlies lose, it's because they beat themselves. If they are turning the ball over 20 to 25 plus times like they've done in other losses, then it could be a close matchup. If they're letting the Milwaukee Bucks, who are not a good offensive rebounding team, get to the boards on them and not securing defensive rebounds, then it could be closer. If they're settling for threes and not attacking the basket, that's what could make this a close game. But if the Grizzlies are taking care of all 3 of those categories, I believe it's another 20-point win for the Grizzlies. It's just that simple. The Grizzlies are just that better. The Milwaukee Bucks, 4 seed in the East, record-wise, but talent-wise, not so much. So expecting an easy Grizz win on Sunday. Let's hope for another blowout.
Dude always expects an easy Grizz win. Ryan.
It's the weekend games. I don't know if everybody realizes this, but like it's always the weekend games. He's like, all right, it's a weekend game. The Grizzlies are going to get a blowout. He does not feel good about the Milwaukee Bucks. And you're the same way. I have been a Milwaukee Bucks guy early on when I said that they were starting to play a lot better. And then you and Ryan have told me I'm an idiot completely. But I think that they've been really good, and it shows. They're 4th in the West or the East now. My God.
I've never loved. Okay, first off, the East. Ooh. Ooh. I've just never been a huge fan of the Dame Giannis pairing. I mean, I don't know what show it was, but you can go back and listen to the show when it happened. I was like, I think Drew Holiday fits the mold of this team better than Damian Lillard. And listen, everybody called me a psycho, and then Drew Holiday was a key contributor in them winning a championship that year. Like, I don't know what else you want me to say. Like, that happened, and Drew Holiday was a huge part of that. So, there's no doubt that Dame is like the offensive explosion. I think you have offensive explosion in Giannis, and Drew Holiday gives you good enough offense on being an unbelievable defensive player. So I've never believed in it, but listen, I don't know. I was so focused on this game. This game mattered to me. I was emotionally invested in this game. So I had no idea who they were playing next. And you're like, let's look ahead to, and I was like, I got no idea what comes next. So yeah, man, I think that team's playing a lot better than they were at the beginning of the year, though.
No doubt.
I do think they are playing much better than when they saw them. At the beginning of the year, they definitely turned it around a little bit. That being said, especially if Ja is able to play, I expect the Grizzlies to play well and win that game. Yes.
No doubt. Yeah, shout out to Having Healthy Kitchen. Go give them a follow. Go check out their stuff. Going out for the night. Listen, same, bro. I'm not far behind you at all. But I honestly had no idea who they were playing next. Like this week has been looked at it was Monday they were playing the Knicks, and it was Thursday the Grizzlies, and so was asked to kind of go in depth today about the Grizzlies and the Rockets game on Coaching Company, to which I'm on at 9 a.m. Central. If you want to check it out, it's on YouTube, but it's also on just kind of cable everywhere. It's on the Stadium channel. But I wasn't looking far past this game, to be honest with you. And the fact that they won this game does make me feel much better just overall. But King Meeks is not a big fan of Doc. I'm not a big fan of Doc, and that's really where the line is drawn for me. Like, I like this team. I think Giannis he has the name and the nickname Freak for a reason, right? And so the fact that Giannis has looked the way he's done, and he's been incredible. Dame is starting to kind of get back into the rhythm. I think he was completely out of rhythm. I don't know if he just didn't want to be there overall, but Dame's starting to look a little bit better. So I'm curious if this team is the real deal. I think they are, but now they're trying to potentially make more trades because Chris Middleton isn't who they thought they were. He's just not healthy anymore. He looks like a shell of himself. And so they're putting him up for trade. They're putting Bobby Portis up for trade. Their bench isn't as good as it used to be. They have a lot of issues. It's not the two guys. It's not Giannis, and it's not really even Dame. It's just like they have the other issues around them. It isn't what they expect it to be.
I just don't think that team's built to win the championship. I just don't know what to tell you. Like I've said everything I have to say about the Bucks. I expect big Jaren and if Ja plays at Ja nights. I think both those guys will go off against the Bucks.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. And I hope it's a good night or a good day. Is it during the day or at night? That's the only thing I'm worried about.
What?
So it's a Sunday. It's Sunday at 7:30 at ESPN.
Oh, it's a Sunday game.
Is Ja going to be there? Yes or no?
I think so. Unless we get really bad news. I think Ja's either playing or we're getting like bad news. I know everybody, like including us, are talking about the mental state of Ja Morant right now. I think Ja looks to have a coming out party on Sunday.
Wow. Okay. I hope so. He didn't look like it tonight. We'll say that. Schedule for this week, we do have the Monday. Make sure you turn in. Grizzleverse should be fun. We've never done it. We've talked about it. But we're gonna have a lot of fun with it. Hopefully we don't get canceled. That's the only we're gonna try to walk that line, just to be honest with y'all. We're gonna try to walk that line. We're gonna do our best.
It's not gonna be hateful.
No.
We're just gonna make sure I'm gonna try and go find my fake patch of grass. Artificial grass. Make sure we all touch it.
But I will be out of town this upcoming week, but Monday I'll be here. Wednesday, I'm not sure. We'll touch base what's going on. But there's only 2 games next week during the middle of the week. So Monday, make sure you please tune in. As Lauren's logging out, thank you for hanging out with us, and thank you all for hanging out with us. We're after midnight Central, and then Art, who God knows what time you're out, and then Wayno as well. You're across the pond, way far across the pond. We have no clue what time it is over there. I never remember, but just 2 games next week. So the Spurs and the Raptors. So we have a Monday, Wednesday for this show, just overall. So. But thank you for hanging out with us. It should be a fun one on Monday night, going against the Spurs, another Wemby, but it's at Memphis. So, it's way over 3 a.m. Good God. Yeah. Y'all go to bed. But last thing, let's go ahead and put a bow on this and let's end the night. What you got on? Any closing thoughts there, Nate?
Great win. I think it's a win that the team needed. I think there's been 2 games this year they needed to win. One was against the Timberwolves after a really tough loss, I think to the Rockets, actually. And then this one after the really tough loss to the Knicks. I think you need to respond as a team, or else I think one way or the other, those kinds of games can define your season.
No doubt.
And that's what you need. You need to prove to yourself, hey, we can bounce back. We can fight. We can compete. I still think you need to make a couple moves at the trade deadline, but you proved you have it. Like, you have it in you to fight like that. So great win from the team. Loved it. All-star Jaren. Congrats. Excited for Sunday.
Yep. I excited about Jaren becoming an all-star again. 2nd year. Your first one feels great, but you need like true validation when that second one and then more comes. So excited that he got that true validation, in my opinion, becoming the leader of this team. I never in my life saw that happening. So
he wanted it tonight, big time too.
Yep,
a lot of emotion from Jaren. You love to see it.
And we'll give a little love to Goon the shooter throughout it all.
Jaren's a bucket. That's what that says.
Jaren is a bucket. I believe you. I believe you, Goon. But yeah, thank you all for hanging out with us. We are Grizz 101. I am Daniel. That's Nate. a fun night overall. The fact that the Grizzlies get the win 120 to 119, just kind of, it was a fun game, but loss, I would have been okay. The win, that's just extra on top for sure. So, but that's all we got. We'll see y'all all Monday. The Grizzlies do take on the Bucks on Sunday, but we'll see you on the back-to-back on Monday as they take on the Spurs. But we'll see you all then. Be nice and tell your friends.